Good afternoon, sports fans from all around the globe. I'm your host, Jeff Dawson, East Coast Sports Investors, and this is your closing bell for January 31st, 2022, the last day of January. Tomorrow, February 1st, Olympics, and much, much more. Get out the CLV cans. They're going to be talked about for the next 13 days. The Super Bowl, as we speak now, 4.5, the Rams minus at Caesars, at William Hill, South Point, Westgate, and Circus sticking to 4. The total, which was at 50-51, maybe, all the way down to 48.5. So obviously, Rams money and under is where everyone's heads are right now in their tickets. I'm going to move this one here. But we got 2 weeks to talk about that. Our goal today is simple. Talk about today's board, get you closer, maybe win a few games today to start the week, to end January with a bang. Our ECSI VIPs closed out yesterday in the week with a nice $4.17 and change parlay, depending upon what you got. And myself and Scott today, very simple. We're just going to break down the board. We're going to tell you what we see, where the lines are, give you a few leans, give you a few plays. You do what you have to do to get to that window and the winner's circle. So without further ado, the man from the palm tree state, palm trees, Jesus, my trees, you don't want to see my trees right now. The one, the only, Mr. Scott E. Webb. Scotty, my brother, what is happening?
Good afternoon, Mr. Jeffrey. How are you?
I'm doing okay. Just, hop, skip, and a jump from La La Land. It's Monday. It's always a busy day. We do the breakfast bankroll. We jump over to LA from 3 to 4, and we try to get ready for the closing bell at 4:30. And then an alert out to the VIPs. And then tonight's bowling night. And last week I had a chance at a big game and kind of screwed that one up, but we're flirting with it. So got 1-300 under my belt. Maybe this year's the year where I can get another one.
It looks like Billy's imitating you there.
Uh-oh, here he is. Hold on. My man Billy. Bama Billy. Hey, you got all those apps up and live, Billy. You should have more markets to pick and choose. This is like candy, and more candy. You can shop for half points till the cows come home. The only problem is you got to deposit in all those. But shop around, look for who's giving you the biggest bonuses, and always remember that it's a marathon, not a sprint. We've had some battles the last few weeks. We still got 11 months left in this year, and I know I'll still be here in 2023. I know you and Rebecca will too. So enjoy yourself. Thank you as always for all your support. And we got a board today, Scotty, one that has moved quite a bit from what we talked about this morning. There's some late scratches. Embiid is out. There's some lines that are moving. It looks like maybe Trey from Atlanta might be out and a couple others that I'm trying to keep an eye on. But the board definitely in the NBA hardwood is moving. So I'm going to let you take it away.
Yeah, right now I've got Trey Young as game time decision, so I don't have him as out yet. But and I'm on that game. That was one I took earlier with the -1. And sometimes that's what happens when you you play these games a little early or whatever. You can run into that. But I thought it was a good number. That I did play one more game that we were looking at from this morning. But I will say this: the number in the Miami Heat game, that number has moved quite a bit, and I think it was 3.5 for Boston, and now it's 6 or 6.5, something like that.
Yeah, is that Jimmy Butler or someone not playing?
Jimmy Butler is out.
Okay.
So there is no Jimmy Butler today. So, but I did play in a game that didn't move that much. I mean, I don't think it's moved off the number from this morning. I did play the Clippers tonight, and I got them at +2. If you like that number, I think you should get that number as soon as you can. There are some. Let me go back to my other screen so I can see. There are a couple of things going on here for the Pacers. Um, so their two centers, Turner and Sabonis, are out already, and they got a game time decision on Bitads or whatever his name is. So they're really struggling at the center position tonight. They do have their regular starting four, but their depth is, oh my god. They're listing 6 guys is out, 2 guys is game time decisions tonight. And anytime that we've come across that, you've run into these scores that just become double-digit wins for the opponent. Now, I'm not saying that that's what's going to happen tonight because the Clippers have a couple of guys who are game-time decisions that really matter. Batum is one of them. So hopefully he plays tonight. But the idea here is once you even if he doesn't play, the Pacers are so thin, you're going to be really relying on a lot of guys you probably never heard of before. So, and then that's not the first time they've run into that. And I think it was like a 5-point game or whatever, and then they decided that we against Philadelphia, and then Philadelphia jumped out to an 11-point margin spread before the tip-off because there was the same type of thing happened. But I'm not suggesting that that's going to be a bigger number like that. But that's the one I added. So I'm still on Portland. I was -3.5. I think that number is -4, and it was -4 then. And I'm okay with that number. And I'm on Atlanta -1, and I think it's a pick 'em now in most places. Or you can get Toronto -1, so you could get +1. So just play them on the money line, whatever. And then I took the Clippers tonight, so that was the other game that I added instead of trying to do anything more. I just thought I'd tell you what, like that Miami line, what the deal was with that one. So interesting how it goes. The other one to kind of keep an eye on is New Orleans. New Orleans. They're 3 guys that score the points. Hart, Ingram, and Valanciunas is not. They're all game time decisions tonight against Cleveland. But you're starting to get into 6.5, 7.5 type numbers there. So I just stayed away from those games.
NBA specifically, one of those sports. What I do here, one of those sports where you run. The public and the degens run to the window as soon as they see a scratch. Perfect example here is in that Philly-Memphis game. Philly opened up 3.5, which was a respectable number for Memphis. The way both teams have been playing, as soon as Embiid is out, that flips to Memphis -3.5. There's no way in holy hell I'm playing Memphis today, even without Embiid. I noticed the big move on the Celtics, and the first name that came to my mind was Jimmy Butler. I got the Sabonis update about 45 minutes ago. The thing that scares me on that one is that line has not moved. There wasn't a big jump on that one. The other one that, again, is the Atlanta-Toronto, where, again, they go from a 2-point favorite. Now Toronto's -1 or a pick. I know Trey's a big part of that. I think Vegas is preparing us not to have Trey. But that number, again, you can get a pick or anywhere to 1 there. College hoops, if you can go over the pregame, Scott, I'm going to just break down this board, just give you what the eyes are telling me. And if anyone has any questions, feel free to DM me at EC Sports Invest on Twitter or send us an email at eastcoastsportsinvestors@gmail.com. Rotation number 875, 876. We talked about this on the Breakfast Bankroll. One of the better games tonight at 7 p.m. Iowa looking to bounce back after their loss against Purdue. Travels to Penn State. A line that opened at 3.5 is up to 4.5, and even as high as 5 at South Point. 55% of the bets, 72% of the money coming in on Iowa there. You seen about the same there, Bill?
Yeah, it's 64% of the money, 77% of the tickets on Iowa.
You know, I said this to our buddy Billy, and I'm going to say this to everyone here. If you're playing Notre Dame today, which I'm going to get to in a minute, if you're playing Notre Dame, you have to play Penn State. It's one of those, one's probably going to cover and maybe win outright, and the other one's going to get blown off the map. It's just the way these games seem. The only difference between Penn State and Notre Dame is Notre Dame is leaning towards that public trendy dog. This is a makeup game that was canceled earlier. Notre Dame playing a lot better at home. In comes Duke, ranked, I think, as high as 9th in the country. Coach K's swan song, but I'll get to that one in a second. Drexel at NC Wilmington, our kryptonite last week, NC Wilmington, a team that is rolling. Yet they open up as a 1-point dog, now 1.5-point favorites at home. Rotation number 879, 880. What do you see there, Bill? I called you Bill twice. I'm sorry, Scotty.
All right, brother. It's 84% of the cash and 75% of the tickets are on NC Wilmington.
So the Sharps public and everyone else has spoken. They expect Wilmington to keep on rotoring. The only way I can play this is Drexel. I'm not jumping on this Wilmington train. I wasn't there at the wedding. I'm not going to be there at the funeral. So it would be Drexel or pass there for me. Duke Notre Dame, 883, 884. Duke at Notre Dame, 7 p.m. tip-off. Opened at 5.5, a flat 5 at Circa and Westgate, 5.5 at South Point. I'm showing 56% of the bets, 72% of the money on Notre Dame, Scott.
They're showing 53% of the money is on Notre Dame. 59% of the tickets are on Duke.
So I could say there's a line freeze there. I lean Notre Dame in this spot. You can probably get them at around plus 175-ish on the money line. I have no problem taking Notre Dame plus the 5 and a hook and a little pizza and beer money on Notre Dame as well to win the game outright. Big game here at 8 o'clock, 889, 890, Colorado State at Wyoming. A game where Wyoming opened up minus 1.5. Now it's Colorado State minus 1.5. 66% of the bets, 70% of the money coming in on Colorado State, Scott.
Yeah, I'm showing different here. I'm showing 65% of the money, 61% of the tickets are on Wyoming.
All right, well, if that's the case, then there's huge reverse line movement on Colorado State. Again, as I said this morning, I will rehash it again. This is a Colorado State team that this weekend, or actually Friday, was 14-point favorites against UNLV, and they lost by 20. Okay, if that's the case and they were peeking to this game, well, God bless them. And it sounds like the Sharps are pounding Colorado State here and in the bounce back. So from my eyes, the way that we're trained here, I would then play Colorado State probably on the money line, probably right around minus 118 or 120 there. TCU Oklahoma, a 9 o'clock start, 897, 898 on the rotation. Oklahoma opened up at 6. It's staying at 6, 5.5 at DraftKings. 56% of the bets, 58% of the money coming in on Oklahoma. Yet the line is frozen or dropping. So reverse line movement coming in on TCU. What do you see, Scotty?
Well, this one is it's one of the more higher bet games. It's probably the third largest bet game, maybe the fourth. And it's showing 81% of the money is on Oklahoma, but 54% of the tickets are on TCU.
I would take the points here plus the 6. Maybe by tip-off, you sneak a 6 and a hook. You're probably getting well over plus 200 in the money line there. TCU had a nice upset win over the weekend. Oklahoma, hit or miss. They've cashed a few tickets for the VIP ECSI family. I think the points are intriguing here. Let's keep an eye on that. You still have a few hours before tip-off there. I'm going to head down to the frozen pond, see if we see anything there. Florida opened at 255, now 295 at Columbus. No thanks. Anaheim, Detroit. Anaheim rotation number 19 and 20. Anaheim travels to Detroit. Detroit opened up at 115, now favored at minus 109. I'm showing 70% of the tickets on Anaheim, but 80% of the money on Detroit. Is that right?
It's not what I'm seeing. I am seeing that Anaheim is 67% of the money, 71% of the tickets.
All right, so the tickets and money are going directly. So I would actually lean a little Detroit home cooking as a basically a minus 110 or minus 105 there. Edmonton opens up minus 180, now minus 197 at Ottawa. You just don't know which team you're going to get there. 52% of the bets, 56% of the money coming in on Edmonton. The only thing I would suggest is you could probably get Edmonton right around even money, minus the goal and a half. And the under over is at 6.5. So they're telling you maybe a 4-2, 4-2 game, 5-3 game, something like that there. A good game here. Rotation number 23-24. Vancouver at Chicago, 7:35 faceoff. Chicago opened up minus 120, now minus 115. 58% of the bets, 69% of the money coming in on the Blackhawks. Do you see that?
Yep, exactly same numbers. 69% of the money, 59% of the tickets on Chicago.
I would lean Vancouver plus the 105 here. Get some reverse line movement coming in on them. And then to close it off, New Jersey, Toronto, 81-82 on the rotation number. Toronto opens up minus 320, now minus 328. There's nothing that you can do in that one. Scotty, closing thoughts on the NBA board, or your initial thoughts that the Super Bowl is all Rams, all under?
Yeah, there's a lot to dissect in that game, and there's so much time to get to all that stuff and deal with those things. And the only thing I'll caution everybody and try to avoid the national media. If you're listening to a handicapper, you're listening to somebody like that, that's fine, because they're trying to break down the games in different ways. But the national media, they're just trying to give you stories, and they're trying to tell you different things that can influence the way you see games. So I don't watch any TV that like all that pregame stuff that happens before. How many hours is it? Like 3 hours and stuff before the conference games and stuff. I don't even watch it. I'll go watch murder mystery stuff or something. I don't know, anything, but to not deal with that. Just don't put yourself in a prejudice situation where something that you heard via television, that is a storyline for somebody that's reporting on the news or reporting on their show. Do not follow that stuff, because that's going to lead you to the wrong path and influence your decisions and choices in the wrong way. Of course, you may win, but it's one of those scenarios though that you're just looking at the game wrong. So try to get to a point where you're looking at that stuff in the right angles and steer clear of the wrong information, and get involved in, other stuff. If you want to, this is a good time to start looking at drafts and looking at draft picks and, dissecting what happened this weekend with the Senior Bowl and stuff like that.
It's going to be on us real soon. The fact of the matter is, we have this week off, and then we got Radio Row, and it just, I'm going to talk to you blue in the face about that game. It's one game. Everyone wants to hold the golden ticket. I mean, I have a friend, and hats off to Matt, a good friend of mine. He bet $78 on the Bengals to win the Super Bowl, and it's going to cash out at just over $6,000. So he was asking me yesterday about hedge opportunities. And of course, the first thing that comes out in my head is, you can obviously, I don't know what kind of bankroll you're holding, first of all, and second of all, what kind of limits that you're looking at, but you can play the Rams money line, and then you can guarantee yourself $3,000 if you want to go that route. There's obviously the in-game route. Again, I don't know what your limits are or where you're betting this or vice versa. There's ways to make yourself some good coin here. Just the thing that I really want to say here is, you only have about $80 tied up into this. So your ROI is just through the roof here. Let's make sure you're walking out with a couple $1,000s. You can still hold on to the, more money on the Bengals, hoping that they do win. But you got a chance for your initial $80 score investment here for a pretty big score and payday.
Yeah, well, that's how you have to look at stuff. I mean, if one side doesn't win and the other side does, then you just hedged yourself into a good spot. So it's just all a matter of kind of how it all plays out and what you do. And theoretically, this is the investing part of managing your bankroll that most people don't understand. And the truth of the matter is, most people don't even look at stuff that way. And this is a variance or a difference between what investing in sports is and gambling in sports. Because when you invest in sports, a lot of times you are assured yourself X number of dollars of winning. You've guaranteed it. As you just have to put yourself in those positions. And that's the trick, is learning how to do that, manage your bankroll daily, and then be able to put yourself into, once you have the opportunity to make the money that you're looking for on these investments, then you do. But that's part of our show. I mean, that's part of what the idea here is. I would always tell people, especially if you're a brand new person to gambling and working on these sports, the number one thing that you have to do is manage your bankroll. Manage your bankroll. That's the number one thing. You can be as good or as bad of trying to think about picking winners as you think you are, but you can still lose because you doubled your bet here, but you only bet a single there. You doubled it here. You did this. You did that. You did all this other stuff, and then all of a sudden you ain't got no money, and you turn around and you go, oh well, Jeff says I only have to win 53% of my bets, and I make money, and I won 53% of my bets, and I lost. And that's because you vary your wager amounts, and that's because you do different things that are all over the place. And I get all of that stuff, but that's the part that I'm talking about. Is the number one skill in all of this is bankroll management. It's not picking winners. It's not reading the board. It's not any of that stuff. You could actually have a terrible winning percentage and still make money. So you have to know where to invest, why to invest, and how to invest, and then how to make your money make money. That's what rich people do. Their money makes them money, not some other thing. They're not out there digging a hole to make money. Their money makes money. So that's the idea, guys. And maybe we'll do a show one day just totally dedicated to certain things and certain topics. We do a lot about the board and the games, and that's what I think people like. But every once in a while, we probably ought to just throw something out here and just go, hey, guys, look, we're going to talk about bankroll management today, or we're going to talk about, whatever it is that we're going to talk about. But because you could spend, 30 minutes, 40 minutes on that subject, and we could do a bang up job on stuff like that. But at the same time, I don't know how much people would really get into that.
And to close on that ticket that I'm talking about, and I think a lot of people get wrapped up in this. And again, yesterday and this morning, there's a parlay ticket floating around social media where a guy picked both scores exactly correct. And, he turned $20 into 20,000, 30,000, whatever it was. And I keep trying to tell you guys this is, if you believe that and want to believe that, I have two bridges right down the road. It's called the Sagamore and the Bourne Bridge. They're for sale. And we could talk off the air about any prices that you would like to potentially purchase those. I'm not saying that those parlays don't come in. What I am saying is you don't see the millions of dollars that are lost to get to that. A perfect example was 3, 4, 5 years ago. Kansas City wins the Super Bowl 31-20. The guy nails the score exact. And he shows the ticket. I think it was a $300 ticket. He hit the exact score. He won $20,000. I reached out to him. I said, hey, do you mind me asking how much you netted on that? He goes, Jeff, to be 100% transparent, I lost money. Okay. So you only see the winning ticket. That's all you do. I kind of cracked the Da Vinci Code on the McAfee show where they had a parlay boost on a 3-team parlay that 60,000 people were on at $20 a whack. Do the math, guys. That's $1.2 million FanDuel collected. The parlay lost. It lost. 60,000 times $20 is $1.2 million. So if FanDuel has millions and millions, and DraftKings millions and millions of customers, and they're putting out these boosts for these damn parlays, hey, what the hell? I'll throw $20. It's a scratch ticket. It's entertainment. What's a million times $20? Do the math. Anyone that comes into these lanes thinking this is a get-rich bingo, scratch ticket, you're wrong. They want to glamorize this. It's putting lipstick on a pig. That's what they're doing. Come on, guys, wake up.
Yeah, it's like I said, get your information correct from where you need to find it, and hopefully you trust in what you're reading and what you see. Question everything, and then answer the question. And if you can't answer the question, you got something going on there. I mean, that's how you learn in this business. So do that. And as you get started, you're going to start finding yourself on the right side of a lot of things that you wouldn't normally have found. But question everything, because there's a reason why it's there. You might not know what it is yet, and you might not be privy to certain information. But if you question it properly, you can find the answer to it. Or if you can't answer it, you'll find a way to get yourself off of certain things that you shouldn't be on in the first place.
And the shoulda, coulda, wouldas. And listen, do I think the Bengals can win? Sure, they can. They just went into Kansas City and won. They just went into Tennessee and won. This kid is Joe Burrow. I mean, they're on a mission. They're destined. They got to the promised land. And the fact that you could be holding on a ticket worth $7,000 and you only invested $20 or $80 into it, yeah, that's a great story. That's a great ROI. That's a great everything about it. But the bottom line is, if they lose by a missed extra point, which the kid would never miss anyways, but the point is, if they lose in overtime and you don't have any profit there, at least to show for it, that it was fun. It was entertainment. And I have a big battle with a lot of people about, at the end of the day, in entertainment. And you talked about it a few seconds ago, which kind of irks me as well, as the buffet line. Hey, did you play this? I didn't like it, but I played this, and this. And in today's market, your cell phone is a smartphone. It's a walk-in casino. I call mine the Bellagio. There's nothing that you can't play on your phone. So you have action 24/7, 365. And if you get caught up in the bug, it's going to bite you. Trust me, it's going to bite you. So enough for us for the day. I want to thank everyone. Billy, thank you so much for the support. Thanks to Lucky, Marty, and the rest of the crew. It's Monday. It's the last day of January. Tomorrow is February, new month, new start, new beginning, Olympics. We'll be talking a little Olympics, not a lot, but something catches our eye. We'll talk about it. But tonight, if you are wagering, always wager and invest responsibly. If you have a problem, pick up the phone. There's an 800 number right there. Ask for help. Why? Because we care. We want you here today, tomorrow, next week, next month, through 2022 and beyond. For myself, Jeff Dawson at EC Sports Invest, and Scotty Webb at Webby20MLB, we wish you a blessed evening. We want everyone to have a good start to the week. Tomorrow, no breakfast banquet. Oh, no, actually, we're going early. We're going early on the breakfast banquet at 9 a.m. Special guest, 2 p.m. Eastern, the one, the only Mr. Sean King from Tulane University, from the Bucks, now working at Beeson. We're going to talk Tulane. We're going to talk Bucks. We're going to talk Beeson. We're going to have a good talk with him. And then myself and Scott will wrap up the afternoon with the closing bell. Have a great night, guys. And we'll see you next month, tomorrow, February 1st.